Right, good afternoon. It's been a while since I gave you guys an update on Jon Seagull, so Sky and I are off to the boat, and we'll do that. Just got some tidying up to do today. I'm not going to be sanding or grinding fiberglass. I'm not geared up for that, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so definitely not doing that. But I'm going to stick a trickle charger on the battery, because as you guys will know, the Bimini's gone with the solar panels, so we're going to be doing that today, putting the solar panels on the boat. I did actually have a allergic reaction to the wood that I was working with the other day. I'm building companionway stairs for the change to the companionway, and turns out I'm allergic to Iroko, the African teak. So yep, so bit of a gloomy day today. It was absolutely torrential overnight, so thankfully that's not the case. But I've done some other things around the house today. Yeah, so lots of projects. You can see my decking is still underway. So yeah, I'll give you guys an update on where we're at with Jon Seagull. We've actually done quite a bit. I did actually film quite a lot, but I'm not going to try and compile something with the work in progress, because it's been a while. So yeah, go on, Sky, you get good girl. So yeah, I'll check with you guys in a bit and I'll show you what's happening. Right, so currently at the boatyard. I've got the ladder all rigged up and those kind of things, but I thought I'd give you a quick walk around of what's going on. So this has not moved forward, this project with the bosun, which is a bit of a shame really, because I ordered the transom, the plywood for the transom, a month ago off a supplier over on the other side of London, and they marked it as dispatched, and I thought that's great. And then the courier provided a tracking number and said that they deleted the consignment. So it turns out it was never dispatched. So yeah, I've been waiting for a month and nothing turned up. So that's on hold. But for those of you who don't remember or don't know, the plan with this is to create a 2-section dinghy. So this section there, trying to do this in the mirror image. So this section there will bolt on to that section there. So when I don't need to use it as a full-size dinghy, it will be just that piece. So there are lots available where the bow disconnects from the stern and then nests inside the stern. But then you can't use either of them independently. You can't use either of them on their own. So my idea is to create one that you can still use as a boat, as a dinghy, as a tender, and then if you need extra space for, I don't know, luggage, an extra person, or just to create a different dynamic, then you can add the stern on. It will still be a sailing dinghy, so it'll still have a mast and a boom, maybe not a boom even. So maybe it will just be, I'll step the mast further forward, and the boom will essentially be just ditched, and it'll just have a main, maybe a square rigger, maybe a Bermuda rig, I don't know. We'll work it up. But anyway, no further progress on that. So the other one, which largely is the same idea, but this will be a long-range, long-term cruising tender. I'm not 100% sure that I'll continue with that project, but we'll see. At the moment, it's basically just all the stuff that I've been ripped out inside Jon Seagull. That's all going in there, and at some point I'll need to go to the recycling centre and throw that all away. So you're not allowed to throw that stuff away here in the boatyard. Essentially, the boatyard allows you to throw your regular household stuff as if you were at home. So no difference there. So this is essentially, I just drop everything straight down into the boat, and then at some point I'll take it off and go throw it away. So yeah, so that's what we're doing on the ground. Underneath the boat, no change. So she's looking really good. I might just give her a light sanding before the next season, and then give her a 1 or 2 coats of ablative anti-foul, put her back in the water. The inside, we've taken out all the pipework. I'll show you that in a sec. And so the next job with that, probably in March. I'm not going to do it now because it's too cold, and I don't want to do fiberglassing work in January or February. So we'll grind those through hull fittings out, and we'll glass them over. The through hull fitting in the stern for the aft heads, that is needs changing. So where is it? Somewhere here. Oh, it's over there. So this one here, I think I think this one, I will change this one. I'm not sure, maybe True Design, we'll see, but that means probably changing them all for True Design. So we'll see. I'll see what it looks like. Certainly the seacock needs replacing, because that's actually no, it's a one of the handle, I can't remember the name, but the handle's broken off, so I definitely need to replace that. And then I just need to go through the boat and check all the others. So yeah, so that's the outside. Other than that, not a huge amount that I'm going to do outside. I think next season I'll take the rudder off and check it out and see if there's any water in it. I think I'll probably go another season. Yep. And it's raining, so just as I was about to head up the ladder, the companionway is not unlocked yet, so there'll probably be a sort of a minute or two that I'd have to be up there. But it absolutely started torrential rain, downpour, just as I was about to go up the ladder. So anyway, there we are. Sat in the car, waiting the time, waiting to pass the time, waiting for the rain to stop. So yeah, whilst I'm here, waiting for an answer back from the rigger. I've got a quote from him, $6.5 grand for British pounds to do the entirety of the rigging. So it's less than I was expecting, but it's a lot of money still. Yeah, so 42-foot ketch, that's what it costs. That's if you're thinking about replacing your rigging. It's 8mm stainless, 6mm I think on the mizzen, but yeah, it might actually be bigger than that. It might be 10mm. I'll double check, I'll let you know. But yeah, so that's the thing. I might actually get a surveyor to look at it, see whether I do need to go ahead and do that. I need to get a surveyor anyway, so might as well ask him to do that, because in my opinion the rigging looks pretty good. I've just got no paperwork for it, and so that's the thing that makes me nervous. But it looks in a really, really good neck. I've been through it, I've picked at it, I've checked on the recommendations, I've spoken to insurance, so I'm not 100% sure what I'll do with the rigging, but yeah, I'll get a surveyor to check it out and let me know. Yeah, so fingers crossed the rain will stop soon, and then we'll be able to get back on the boat. Breaking the rain. Oh, sort of. It's make a dash. This guy's going to have to sleep in the car for a little bit. Yeah, we'll make a dash. Well, actually, clear skies. Clear skies. We might be lucky. Right. So let's get up here. I'll show you what we're dealing with. Right, so first things first, I mentioned in a previous video that the Bimini would be taken off, so that's taken off, sold that, and so I'm waiting for prices back for a solar arch, which will then be extendable for creating a bimini, and yeah, so lots of stuff to throw away here, and all the woodwork from inside, so I'll walk you through that in a sec. Oh, hey Ruth.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Anything you want to say?
Like and subscribe.
Rudyard's busy today. Right, so I mentioned earlier that this companionway stairs is a little steep for my liking, so I'm going to be changing that. And the progress that we've made so far is that we have pretty much completed with the rip out at the back here. So I've taken all the cabinetry out, so that's all out. I need to cut some new covers for those sections above the bilges, so I need to cut some more of those. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath coming out of the coming up and down the stairs. Had a big lunch. So yeah, so this is where we're at. So the plan now is to start building this out, repainting it and building it out, and so all of these sections here need to be repainted. So all of that, I need to cut some plywood sections to make new cabinets for there. So I'm going to recess that all the way back and hide all that electrical cabling. I'll tidy that up first though. So I hide all of that, and then I've marked out You can see there on the walls, I've marked out where the new companionway is going to go. So the new companionway is going to go here. I've got some wood, which I'm turns out allergic to, but I've got some wood for building a new companionway ladder coming down here. So the determining factor for the angle of the ladder is that Sky can walk up and down it, and so I think, what was it, 50 degrees is what it's at, just slightly over 50 degrees is what the new stairs way is going to be up there. 1.9 meters from there to there, so that's 6 foot 2.5 from there down to there. And yeah, so that's going to be made out of teak. I've got that. Like I said, I'm allergic to that, turns out. I look like the Elephant Man when I've been working with it, so I need to find someone to do that. And then the idea, if you remember, that was that this room is going to be sort of a storm shelter, wet room. If you've been following the Golden Globe race, you'll see some of the ideas that they've had for keeping areas dry. So the idea being that if anybody's coming down here and they've got foul weather gear on, boots, whatever, they can come down here and take it off. If anybody's on watch, the idea is to build a bed for there that folds away. So essentially a wooden frame bed that can actually fold up and away. The bed is going to be 70 centimeters wide, 700 mil, and 1.98, 1.97 meters long. That's the space available here. I've already got the mattresses for that, and so it's going to be a wooden frame bed made out of marine ply with webbing to create almost a sort of a stretcher bed with the waterproof mattress on the top of that. And so if anybody's on watch, needs to catch 40 winks, they can fold that down and have a sleep over there. So that's in process at the moment. I'd ordered the plywood for that, which is from the same supplier. I was going to get the plywood for the boat and dinghy, but yeah, so that's let me down. But I've managed to actually get a better deal from a supplier in Manchester, which is good. 4 boards of 25mm ply for I think a shade under £300, which is quite good. It's be £1,000 normally. Right, going forward, let me show you this. The little monkey over there doesn't come with the boat. He's an optional extra. I wouldn't recommend one of these. They're annoying. So the major part of the work that we've done is here in the plumbing and the piping for the forward heads. That's probably the main thing that we've done. So I had a friend come down recently and help out with that, which was great because a lot of the work that we needed to do was in really tight spaces, and being 6'3.5" and 220 pounds, I don't fit. Yeah, so we've opened up all of this, ripped out all the pipe work over here. So that was for the deck wash and the air vent for the holding tank. All of this has been taken out, so all the pipe work for the forward heads, that's all been taken out. I've got somebody coming to give me a quote for glassing those over. Got to divide and conquer. And then the heads itself, this has all been taken out. And if you remember, the plan here is to put in a composting heads. So this will no longer be a shower room. Well, somebody could wash in here, but it's not a shower room as such. That's going to be in the aft heads. So all the pipe work over here has been taken out. So the drain for the sink is above the water line, so I'm going to leave that just so that people can still wash their hands and what have you here without an issue. And we'll tidy up all of this. But like I said, this is where the biggest part of the work here was. When I opened this up, this was just a mess. It was like a crow's nest of pipes and ducting, and some of the ducting for the heater had been crushed, and it was just it was a mess. So you can't really see in here. Actually, let me see if I can get a torch. Right, so torch in hand. So this is the section I was just showing you. That's the bilge down there with all the keel ballast. And so inside here, which I still need to tidy up, I need to replace that section over there. There was ducting for the heating system that went in there. and there's gosh, wires galore, a Raymarine system. But yeah, the bracket for the heating system was all in there. There's a huge amount of space in here now, so lots of options for storage. So I need to get in there and work out what I'm going to use the space for. Might be additional water bladders for long distance offshore cruising. So we'll get in there at some point. Yeah, so the heating's been sold. So some of this electrical cabling and etc. here needs to come up. So yeah, lots of things. You know, it's washed out a bit, so you can see cables just for no explicable reason. Don't know what that's for. So yeah, and then that's the holding tank for the black water, and so that needs to come out as well. My plan is to have, like I said, composting heads forward. So if we're ever in a marina or a busy anchorage and need to use the heads, we won't be using this. So not 100% sure how to go about taking this kind of thing out. I guess we'll have to get some advice on that. But yeah, so that's been taken out, and then up here is all the ducting for the deck wash, and for, oh gosh, there was stuff to do with the heater going through there and all that stuff. So so a lot of work still needs to be done in here to make sure that this is all watertight. But yeah, lots and lots and lots. So come down and help if you want. So yes, that gives you hopefully an update of where we're at. If you're wondering why I'm dressed a little bit differently, it's because we're actually a week later after the confessional videos and the rain in the car. This is actually a week later. The battery died, and so we had to record this section again. But yeah, so hopefully that gives you an update of where things are at with Jon Seagull. We're out of the water, so on the hard at the moment. We've gotten rid of the bimini, and so the plans are afoot to replace that. We have, for the most part, got the aft cabin to the point where the rip out is done. We just need to do the tidying up and then start fitting that out, cabinetry, bed, the cutout for the companionway, and then the ladder, and then painting and decorating, and then the replacement for the forward heads, changing that to a composting heads. That's well underway, so we've taken all the pipe work out for that. I haven't taken the through hole fittings out because I want to leave those in, because I don't want the holes exposed to the outside world to let cold and damp and moist air in. Well, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but we'll do that in the spring. We'll just knock it all through, grind it out, open it up, prepare it, and do that in the spring. So I've got somebody lined up for March for doing that. And then the finishing off the heads itself, the forward heads, to put the composting toilet in. So I've got the composting toilet. That's at home. It's a custom build. I built that myself. So I've got that. Just need to measure up and do the cuts inside and actually do the installation of that, and then that should be ready to go. And then yeah, not a huge amount that we can do outside, and there's certainly no fiberglassing work that we can do because of the winter. But we'll certainly get cracking with that as we get into the spring. So we've still obviously got the rest of January and then February to go, and then from March onwards, hopefully we can start preparing. There is a little bit of an update to a little bit of an issue that I saw on the transom, which is a bit of a worry. I need to do some investigation work for that, and if that turns out to be okay, then we'll be back in the water for Easter. But if it doesn't, then that's major surgery on the transom, in which case we're into the world of the unknown. But fingers crossed, it's nothing serious. But I'll be a little bit less cryptic next time we speak. Yeah?
Like and subscribe.
What do you want to say, Rubes?
Like and subscribe.
He does know how to speak English, by the way. He does actually have a fairly vast vocabulary. Sometimes getting him to shut up is the trick, but but yes, like and subscribe. If you're interested in supporting us on Patreon, or if you're interested in supporting this project as a whole, then let me know. Get in touch, send me an email either via Facebook or just drop a comment on these videos, and I'll let you know how you can do that. If you're wondering why it's only ever me and my counterpart here who appear on these videos, it's because I'm on my own. It's just me. I do this as a private social endeavor, and so all of the funding, the quick acquisition of the boat so far, all that kind of stuff, that's all been me.
And Sarah hates sailing. Yeah,
Sarah hates sailing, but I'm just talking about why there's no other adults generally involved in these videos. So that's why. So if you want to get involved, either by time, putting in some effort, so time or dime, as I call it, putting in some effort, or contributing in any other way, providing equipment or financials or whatever, then anything would be appreciated. But
and you may even get a chance to be in one of these videos.
Absolutely, certainly if you're local.
And become famous.
Yeah, as we become famous and everybody recognises us and the paparazzi swab us on the street. Or not. Anyway, that's us. We're waffling. And hopefully you enjoy the update of Jon Seagull. We'll probably be working on this a lot more. We'll have to wait and see when the next time is we can get down to 11 point. So that's it. And we'll speak to you again soon.
Like and subscribe.
Bye.